obviously DJ Lagway leaving, and it's just the way it works. This is the world we live in. You just mentioned saying moved on, got a different job. Mendoza transferred in. I mean, almost everybody's a transfer these days, and that's just the way it works. So I don't think. I don't know. There's some people that are taking shots at him on the way out, and there's a lot of people that are just saying, "Hey, we appreciate you coming here. Good luck to you, but don't go to Georgia."
Lagway to Georgia. I think they think he's going to go toward Baylor. His hometown area is pretty close to there, from what I understand. But
his dad played.
He was. I don't know if he was hurt all summer, but he couldn't work out. Preseason he couldn't practice. I don't know what all.
And he got heavy, and that took away that element of the running game a little bit. So.
Mm-hmm.
Another Duly Noted podcast comes to you from the Meldon Law Studios at the Hacienda. Okay, and welcome into another Duly Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, and coming to you from the Meldon Law Dooley Gator Studios. We have a great show for you today. We're going to be joined by Coach Spurrier. We'll get his thoughts. And the reason we're having him on a Thursday, he's been out of town and not available, obviously, for the last couple of Mondays. But we want to get his take on what is going on in Florida, what is going on with DJ Lagway, and certainly the Heisman Trophy, and certainly the Hall of Fame, which he was at. So all this stuff has happened since he's been gone. And we wanted to make sure we got him one time before we got to Christmas. And then also today, Drew Copeland's going to join us. We do this every year. We make our picks. This year, we're going to draft the 12 teams in the college football playoff. And I feel good about who I'm going to get because, and then it's going to be a points thing. It's just an internal contest. And the winner takes the other one to lunch and donates to Stop Children's Cancer, which is the charity of choice for me, but there's a lot of great ones out there, and I try to help them all. We're still working on January. Coach Spurrier should be back on the 29th. We're working on January 1st. I got a couple of people I'm asking about it. And then January 8th, Scott Strickland's going to join us. I've kind of given him a little. I know he's been on a lot of different podcasts, but I've tried to give him a little bit of space. We've had him on a lot here, but I want to talk to him about everything. All right, so let's get to our Royal Blue starting five. It is brought to you by our good friends Randy Royal at Royal Blue Yacht Sales. The place to go when you need a boat, there's no doubt about it, is Royal Blue. Let us get to our Royal Blue starting five. And let's start off with the portal and how the portal is affecting Florida right now. I mean, look, we're seeing crazy things going on, and doesn't open till the 2nd. In fact, I just wrote a column for patreon.com/Duly Noted if you want to go become a member. Really enjoying writing a lot for them. But anyway, about the 5 stages of grief in the portal. And you can read that there. But certainly we've talked about DJ Lagway. That happened as we were, that was on Monday. Yeah, and I was literally driving in to do the show, and that happened. So no, I was here. That's right, I was here. Anyway, that's Aiden Mizell going out. Yeah, significant. Not you got to keep the main ones, and it looks like Vernell's staying, and you got to keep Dallas Wilson and Trey Wilson, but they may not. This is just the way it is. I'm not gonna overreact to anybody leaving or anybody coming. Okay, I'm just gonna see how it all works out. I can tell you what I think. Like for Pup Howard leaving, I forgot that he was even on the team at one point. He's been hurt a lot, hadn't played a whole lot, hadn't done a whole lot. He was a guy that they were counting on. That was a guy they thought they could build their defense around, and just never lived up to it. But I think a lot of it had to do with injuries. And he's still got 2 years left, but he's leaving. Miles Graham making his announcement that he's coming back. There's a long list of other guys. I mean, Jordan Castell being one that you look at, and you don't like to see him leave. But a lot of people do want to see him leave. He got burned for a lot of big plays, but he also made a lot of big plays and was a great tackler. Look, again, I'm not going to overreact to anybody leaving or anybody coming. A lot of the guys who were leaving, I didn't even know were on the team, but that's fine. That's what the portal's for. The portal is supposed to be I need a fresh start, or I need to play and I want to go somewhere else. This goes back to DJ Lagway, where you get to that point where they tell DJ Lagway, and look, we all know how this thing went down, okay? DJ Lagway has a meeting with Faulkner and Coach Summerall, and they say, hey, by the way, we're going to bring in somebody to compete with you, just so you know. And, they want to see how he responds, and his response is, I'm leaving then. I have been coddled. I have been told I am the face of the University of Florida football. I have been pampered. I don't want to say pampered, but coddled. I think he coddled DJ the same way Urban coddled some players, and it worked for Urban. One of them was Percy Harvin. There was other players. I mean, believe me, that he, if you were a star, he treated you like a star. If you were a reserve, he didn't treat you like he treated you like less than a reserve sometimes. But that worked for him. And Percy Harvin may be the best player to ever play at Florida. There's an argument to be made there. Okay, so it worked. So anyway, but there's so many quarterbacks in the portal. It is crazy. Now, this Alex Philo thing, it sounds like he's coming here. He was a backup, for those of you know, at Georgia Tech to Haynes King. I think I said something about Haynes King, and I got that backwards. It was Haynes King's backup. But anyway, he's out of eligibility anyway. So, but Philo set all kinds of records. He was an all-time leading passer in Georgia high schools, and they were grooming him to be the starter at Georgia Tech, and now he's coming here. Look, he might be really good. He doesn't have great arm strength, it doesn't look like, from just what I've watched films, just on the internet. But, maybe he's the answer. Maybe it's Tramel Jones. Maybe it's Will Griffin comes in and wins the job as a true freshman. We'll just see who it is. They're going to bring in another guy, and that'll be great to have two guys fighting it out. You got to have a good quarterback. You can't win without one. We'll see what they end up with. The Jaden Boss stuff, we'll see how that goes. By the time I get off the air, he may have announced what he's doing. I think Zach Alpaverdi wrote a story about this, that Georgia, Texas, and Ohio State are all in the mix. And that's not good for Florida because they're all, all but one's in the playoffs, and one of them was almost in the playoff, and more than that, they've all got more money than Florida. That's the truth. And it's because if it comes down to that, we'll see. We'll just see. I'm going to wait till that happens, and then I'll relay the importance of him either coming back or going. We'll see. If he goes to Texas and follows his coach, Jaluk, he does that. He's got to do, and this is the bottom line, he's got to do what's best for him. And we talk about this all the time. I have totally softened on the Live Tour. Totally softened. I was one of the most vocal critics. And I would not watch it, and I still won't watch it because it's boring. It's terrible. It's not golf. However, I've come around to understanding that if somebody offered me $10 million to leave the Gainesville Sun when I was at the peak of my powers, which were nil, I would have taken it. Well, we chopped the head off of a journalist. You're not going to do that to me, though? Okay, I'm good. Sometimes there is a price for everything, I guess. I don't know. I'm not saying I would watch Live Golf, and I'm not saying I'm going to follow Live Golf, but I'm not going to be as critical of it because I'm starting to get it. And this is anyway, I've gone way too long on this whole rant about the portal. Number 2 on our Royal Blue starting 5, Florida basketball wins last night, 102-61. The team they played is Division I, but won't be anymore. They're going to Division III. This is what I heard on the broadcast. Also heard it was the first year of the college football playoff on the broadcast, but some guys make mistakes. Okay, I make mistakes all the time. We know that. Anyway, my point is, this is a team that was. It's not. I mean, they were like near the bottom of Division One, and they looked like it. They're not very good. Florida play well. Xavier Lee has it going a little bit now. Again, this was against not a very good team, but he was pretty good against in the last. I think it's the last 5 games. He's been the leading scorer in 4 of them. That's what we hoped he would be. He is becoming what we hoped he'd be. He's been defending well, and he's taking good shots, and he dishes the ball well. Now he's starting to make baskets. Now maybe this thing will get going in the right direction, wins and loss wise. They're playing hard. I'm not having any issue with how they're playing. He had 18 last night, and yeah, I did want to talk. Oh, yeah, they're 361st is where St. Francis is. That's what it is. Okay. The women won 2. They beat Florida A&M, and I know that blanket on her. Liv McGill had a 29-point game, and Mariah O'Neal had another big game. It's kind of a 2-man show there, and that's maybe why they struggle in some of the bigger games. We'll see if they can solve that problem. And by the way, men's basketball plays Sunday at noon against Colgate. Another softie, but that's what you want heading into the conference season. That game is on the SEC Plus if you want to watch it on Sunday. All right. I will be in Palm Beach. Yeah, I guess I won't be able to watch it. I can watch it on my TV, on my phone. All right, let's get to number 3. The ACC announced that they're scheduling, and I wasn't aware of this. Maybe I'm just late to the party on this, but 5 teams will only play 8 games, and then the rest will play 9. And then every year, because they have 17 teams, 1 team's not, or 2 teams, I think it is, are not going to play 9 games, which just seems bizarre to me. How is that going to affect the committee when they get to the ACC teams? And again, I don't know how they're going to do. They said they're going to address their tiebreaker, which they need to do. Obviously, they screwed that up. But how do you do that? How do you address the tiebreaker to say, okay, well, if you go 8-1 and the team behind you is 7-1, is the 3rd best team, and you're the 2nd best team at 8-1, the 8-1 team goes. Well, what the 7-1 team's actually the better team. We all know that. I don't know. It feels like they've just muddled the waters a little bit there. The teams that aren't going to play 9 conference games, FSU, Clemson, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, and Boston College. So basically, I would say 4 of their biggest sellers are not going to be playing the extra game. But the reason is because they're both playing contractually obligated to play 2 Power 4 teams. In the case of FSU, obviously they play Florida and they play Alabama again next year, and they're not going to give that Alabama game up to play a conference game. Anyway, the rule is when the teams that have to play 8 games get to that point in the future, when every year they're going to have teams that play 8 games, you do have to play 2 Power 5s, or Power 4s. That'll be interesting to see that scheduling going. Anyway, let's move along to number 4 on our Royal Blue starting 5. Let's talk about the playoffs real quickly because I want to give you my picks. I'm taking Oklahoma to beat Alabama. I just think there's just too much because the Michigan rumor has not died down. It is just as powerful as it's ever been. Kalen DeBoer to Michigan. And I just think, even though he said he's not going anywhere, that's what Saban said. So I don't think. I just think it's going to be a problem. And it's at home, and Oklahoma's defense is good, and Alabama's offense has been shaky, and they don't run the ball. I'm going to take Oklahoma in that game. And I don't even know what I picked on Sunday because I do that for Patreon in the back 9. But by the time I get to Friday or Thursday, it's a totally different story. And so I'm just going with who I feel right now. I think Miami's going to go in and beat Texas A&M too. I think they're going to get the good Carson Beck. I think he's going to have time to dissect it and see what happens. Tulane will keep it closer than the spread against Ole Miss, but will lose. And John Summerall can get on the job here 100%. And we don't look. I've heard a lot of people say they're rooting for them to lose because they want them they want him here. And I'm like, no, I want him to win. First of all, I want him to beat Ole Miss. And secondly, I want him to have fun. I want him to enjoy it. He can do both jobs. It's possible. You got time in between. And then James Madison, no chance against Oregon, I don't think. All right, finally, number 5 on our Royal Blues starting 5, and then we'll get to our 2 great guests today. Kevin O'Sullivan is back in the saddle. I did text him a while back, and I wanted to check in on him, and he had been cleared. He told me that. I didn't want to. That's between me and him, but we all know he was ready to go, and he was ready to be fired up. And look, it's like my wife said, he's going through a lot of stuff, but the bottom line is I am happy that he's back as Florida's coach, and I am too, because he's a great coach, and you look at the numbers, they don't lie, what he's done. He's got his flaws like we all do. Everybody's got their personal demons and their issues. Everybody's got them, okay? From the president down to the, whatever. I don't know what the lowest, Norm Macdonald used to say the worst job in the world was crack whore, okay? So down to the lowest crack whore, I guess you could say. Anyway, but the bottom line is he's ready to go and he's fired up, and it's going to be a fun baseball season. I can't wait. Can't wait to see Sully again, too. All right, let's get out of here. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will be joined by Coach Spurrier, and then a little bit later in the show, Drew Copeland will do our draft of the eligible, I guess, playoff teams. Eligible, yeah, they are eligible. Everybody's eligible, right? Technically. And we'll play Yes, No, Where maybe with him as well. We'll be back with more of another Dooley Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios right after this break. Here are just a few reasons why doing business with the Royal Blue puts you at the helm of your boating lifestyle. 1, the longer we have your listing, the lower percentage commissions you will pay. 2, survey reimbursement for qualified buyers. 3, detail reimbursement for qualified sellers. 4, on-the-water delivery orientation availability. Call us today to schedule a consultation to see what Royal Blue can do to solve all of your boating needs. Call Randy at 850-974-1294.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
Hey Gator fans, the holidays are here, and you know what that means. Great food everywhere. Pies, cookies, all the food we just can't resist. But here's the thing, you don't have to give it all up to lose weight and be healthy this holiday season. BMI TeleMed can help you enjoy the holidays and keep your weight on track. Their medical weight loss program gives you the medication and the support and the guidance you need. You can still enjoy the holiday food, you'll just eat less of it. So you can actually lose weight and not add the pounds most of us do this time of year. Start the new year ahead of the game. Visit our friends and Gator alums, Charlie Gonzalez and Bob Parado, at bmitelemed.com to learn more. That's BMI TeleMed, achieve and maintain. Okay, welcome back to another Duly Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. It is a great pleasure for our annual contest, and we're going to do it a little differently this year, to bring on my good friend Drew Copeland from Sister Hazel. We've been doing this for 10, 15, 20 years. I don't know how long. How long have we been doing this?
I mean, it could be 20 years at this point.
I know I did it 1 year with Ken, but that was too easy. I can say that because he's in Germany right now.
That's right. He has no idea what we're doing.
Yeah. But we picked the games. This year, what we're going to do is we're going to do we're gonna draft the 12 teams. So we'll get to that in a minute. But you gave everybody a hell scare, putting that on Facebook the other day. That was a little bit weird.
Yeah, I thought, my initial thought was Gainesville's a small town, and I was already starting to get texts from people that knew that I was in the hospital, And so I felt like maybe it was best to just kind of let everybody know, hey, I'm okay. It's going to be fine, rather than let the rumor mill start. But as it turns out, I may have stirred up a hornet's nest. So yeah, I didn't expect as many people to be happy about me being in the hospital, but I'm
It
just
was
kidding.
like everybody was like, good riddance.
Yeah, I'm surprised he lasts that long. Yeah.
But everything's going good now. You're fine.
Totally fine. Yeah, I actually did a show up in Atlanta 2 nights ago, and was scheduled to do one in Fort Walton Beach, but apparently Ken called in a bomb scare or something from Germany. Or maybe he said the show is going to bomb. There was something about. No, I'm just kidding.
There was a bomb thing, involved.
Yeah, no, it was an issue with the venue, and so I'm actually heading home right now.
Well, we can't wait to get you back here. And we'll do our picks in a minute, but I did want to talk to you about your feelings about Florida football and where it is now, hopefully where it is now. And I know you'll be watching with interest Saturday when John Summerall's team takes the field. But what's your gut about all this that's been going on? It's been wild, the rumor mills and everything. Not only that, but there have been facts that have come out that have been interesting as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I probably followed the same path that all like the diehard Gator fans did, and that was, I did, like, from the very beginning, I did not want Lane Kiffin, and then I desperately wanted Lane Kiffin, and then when I saw the choice, I was like, man, another group of 5, what does that mean for us? And then I started doing a little bit of a deeper dive on Coach Summerall, and I'm optimistic. I'm not even cautiously optimistic. I'm optimistic. I think if we can keep the locker room, if we can keep the roster that we've got intact with some of the key players, I think that he has a really good chance of being successful. So we'll see. There were a few coaches that I really like and that I think were excellent, that are leaving. Coach Gonzalez is one for me that I just have a ton of respect for, and I think he's an amazing receivers coach. I was bummed to see him go. But I understand you're bringing in an offensive coordinator, and they're going to want their guys and things like that. So look, man, I'm excited. I think that I'm a diehard, man. So, I mean, in fact, I'm picking the Gators in one of these bowls, and they're not even in but yeah.
No, that's what I told the quarterback club the last time I spoke to him, which was a couple of weeks ago now, is I said, look, you're not trading your Gator stuff in. You're not going to go start being a Seminole or being a Dog. You're going to be a Gator. You're still I know that things aren't good. I know you're upset. I know you're feeling depressed about guys leaving and stuff like that, but you're not going to switch teams. So
not at all.
You got to suck it up and make it and say, hey, one day we'll look back at that as, oh God, remember when Napier was here?
Yeah. And I'll tell you the truth, man. I wish nothing but great things for Billy Napier, and I wish nothing but great things for DJ Lagway. I totally get why, look, I wasn't in the meeting, so I don't know all the specifics. I've seen all the rumors, but the truth is, man, him, if he had stayed and wanted to lead and wanted to do that for, and that was in his heart and his soul to do that, then I would have been happy with that too. But I kind of understand wanting to get a fresh start. I have a feeling, knowing our fan base, that the first pick he threw in the swamp, he would probably get booed, and that sucks. But our fans are, they're pretty hardcore, man. I mean, it takes a different guy to be quarterback here, and it takes a different guy to be head coach here. So I wish them all the best. And with the portal these days, man, he can put together a killer team in no time. It's not going to take 4 years to rebuild. It's not one of those deals.
And he made that clear. We're going to win. We're going to win right away. And I think that's important. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here going forward. But, just my first impression of Summerall is very positive and what he's been doing. But look, you're going to lose guys. There's going to be guys that are going to get in the portal. We've already had 10 or 12, and some of them are walk-ons. Some of them are guys I've never heard of, and I didn't even know they had landed in recruiting at one point. But
Yeah.
but then there's guys like Lagway and Jordan Costell and you know,
Is Kermani?
those are the big three right now. If they can just keep it to that, it would be great. I don't know that they will, though.
Is Kermani? Is he staying? I saw a rumor that he might be going. Is that?
Well, you never know, because I mean the portal doesn't open until the 2nd of
Right.
January, so you don't have to declare anything now. There's just a lot of guys that are saying, "Hey, come after me. I want to go somewhere. What can you offer me? Let's get everything in line."
Yeah.
So, technically, they're doing the tampering, the players.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Well, I wish him luck.
So are you gonna when's your next show now? Playing the solo acoustic?
I'm doing one down in Clearwater on Saturday, and then Pompano Beach on Sunday.
Oh, sweet.
And then that's it till next year.
Wait a minute, we're gonna be in Palm Beach Sunday.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm playing in Pompano. It's
That's
right
not
there.
far. That's
No, not at all. I'll shoot you the information.
I'd have to keep Karen sober for it, though. That would be. Somebody's gonna have to
Why?
drive me home. Somebody's gonna have to drive me home. I've been watching all these. I've been watching all these things where the cops pull over the young lady and she's hammered and she's like getting on and she's fighting and she thinks she knows the law. You know, no, you don't have to have a license to drive a car. This isn't a commercial vehicle. And now I'm so obsessed with it. I'm like afraid to, get in my car. So.
Dude, the funniest one I saw was a guy got pulled over and the cop is saying, or a cop was questioning a man. He was standing there and he said, "Sir, how much have you had to drink?" And he said, "I had 3 whiskeys, 2 beers, and whatever else he had." And the cop goes, "Sir, that's still not enough to let your wife drive." I thought that was really funny. That's really sexist. I'm probably going to be canceled by everybody at this point, but it was still pretty funny.
You're done. Yeah. All right. Let's get to our rankings. We're going to take the 12 teams and we're going to rank them. Or draft them. I'm sorry, not rank them, but we're going to draft them, and then whoever ends up with the winner is the winner of our contest, and we'll donate to Stop Children's Cancer and buy the other one lunch. And I think I'm one up on you, aren't I?
You are. Yeah. I mean, and it wasn't even like it was a spanking last year. It was ugly. I think I remember texting you in like it was still December, and I'm like, well, there goes that. There goes that.
Well,
but
so
that's okay.
You picked Tulane, I think, in that.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. You get the first pick, and then I get 2, and then you get 2, and then I get 2, and then you get 2. So who is your number one confidence in winning the whole thing?
Well, you know me, man, and I'm smart because I gamble with my heart instead of my head. I'm picking JMU. No, I'm just kidding. I am picking I'm going to go with Indiana. I think it's an awesome story, and the season they've had, I'd love to see that go all the way. So I'm going with Indiana.
Yeah, it is going to be that would be the best story, I think. I mean, look, obviously James Madison and Tulane aren't going to win the whole thing. We know that.
No, yeah.
But certainly Cincinnati. I mean, Indiana's story is not that dissimilar from Vanderbilt, what they've done.
Right.
Schools that aren't supposed to be winning it. So you got a quarterback from Cal won the Heisman at Indiana, and I'm like, what century have I been dropped in? It's weird. All right. Well, the 2 I'm going to take, I'll take the obvious, which is Ohio State, which is the favorite, and I'll take the Bulldogs. So
those are good.
I know that you don't mind if I go woof woof woof.
I know, man. It's in fact, even parking near Tallahassee makes me a little uneasy. I'll just tell you, there's certain teams that I just cannot root for. All right, so I'm going. My next 2 are going to be A&M and Alabama.
Alabama, let's talk about those two games. Alabama going to Soonerland. I just don't know what their mindset is. Whether they are distracted by this DeBoer talk, or
Right.
not. You never know. Sometimes the team it's like we don't care about that crap. We may be somewhere else anyway. We're playing our contract is what we're doing. So
Yeah.
you never know whether they're going
No.
to play well or not. I think Alabama has better players, but I don't know that they're going to win the game.
I'm just kind of covering my bases with those two teams. So yeah.
Well, that's the thing in the Miami A&M game too. It's like it's hard for me to imagine A&M losing at home to a Miami team that is fractured sometimes. And
Yeah, I agree.
all right, so I'm going to take then our friends at Texas Tech. Talk about a good story that would be.
Yeah, no kidding.
They came out of nowhere with all their money and their oil money.
Yeah, they need to stay away from Jaden Ball. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I think your biggest fears are Texas and Ohio State and Georgia. Those are the three.
Yeah, I agree. And
Texas just hired Jaluk, and he was.
Yeah, I wish we hadn't lost him either. I felt like he was a really good coach. I wish we hadn't lost him, but
I think most people feel that way. But I will say this: and I don't know how good a coach he is or not. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know. All I know is that Jaden Ball broke a lot of tackles. Now, I don't know if you can coach that, but maybe he did coach that.
Yeah.
But you don't keep a coach just to keep a player. I will say that.
Yeah, I agree.
But
and there are other great running back coaches out there.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. But I will say when I was wishing everybody well that leaves, I mean, as long as they don't go to like a rival like Georgia or somebody that we had, then I'm like, well, you suck. You could have gone somewhere else.
Yeah, like ETN was like one of my favorite players at Florida.
I couldn't agree more, man. It killed me. It killed me.
It was almost like he took a little knife and like cut my Achilles tendon, like
Yeah.
in Caddyshack, I just was collapsing,
And I can't help it but feel like every time he made little comments about, this is the best experience in my it's like felt like a dig at Florida, and I didn't like that. So that's me.
Yeah, well, hey, look, rooting for the laundry, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I got Texas Tech, and then I'm going to take right behind it. I'm going to take the Miami Hurricanes, and I don't. Yeah, we'll see how they do. If they get Carson Beck at his best, they might win the whole thing.
I don't like Carson Beck. So
no, nobody does.
Yeah.
And not only that, he's always yelling at his teammates. If you notice, he's always yelling at him. What are you doing? No, how can we be outside? And
somebody needs to remind him he's not Tom Brady.
No,
that's the thing. Tom can do that.
He may get drafted in the same round Tom Brady did, but
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, you're up next with your two picks.
Has no one taken Oklahoma yet?
No one's taken Oklahoma.
Okay. Well then I'm gonna go.
That could be a very easy point right there. I think they'll beat Alabama.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Oklahoma, and
so we've got Tulane, James Madison, Ole
yeah,
and
I'm looking at it's Oregon.
Which I
want to win
that first round game. So
I want to win, but at the same time, I'm like I kind of want to I want to root for Tulane because of our new coach. But I guess I'm gonna go Oklahoma and Oregon.
Yeah, I think you went the right way. So now I get, I'll take Tulane. There you go. See, I am a homer. I'll take Tulane and Ole Miss. I'll take them both. So I'm guaranteed a point right there.
That's true.
And
that's it, right?
Yeah, you get James Madison. Good luck
Come
with
on,
that.
guys.
Hey, they're only 21.5 point underdog. That's it.
I'm glad it finally went up. I heard it wasn't even that big.
Yeah.
Or no, what is the Tulane Ole Miss spread?
It's 17.5, I think now.
Okay, that's more than what it was, right?
Think about this though. You can go to Vegas and bet $100, and if Tulane wins the whole thing, you win 80 grand. Are you going to turn your car around and head to Vegas?
No, not this time. But I wish them well. Man, you talk about a story. That would be a story. Holy cow.
Would be.
Yeah.
All right.
I look, I think their coaching is great. That's me rooting for my team. I'm not sure the players can run that kind of a gauntlet. So anyway.
All right. Before we let you go, we need to play Yes, No, Where, or Maybe with you real quick. Drew Copeland is brought to you by Big Mills Cheesesteak, as the Zoom line is. It is brought to you by Big Mills, and Big Mills is street dining done the right way. Just go in there and say, hey, I listened to Drew Copeland from the road.
That's right.
His new album, From the Road. And you get free fries with your order at Big Mills. Great place to go eat. All right. Number one, Florida wins 8 games next year. Yes, no way, or maybe.
Yes.
I think with the softer schedule, I mean, the schedule's not like soft like wet bread, but it's
right.
Still, it's not as hard. Let's just put it that way.
No, and I think that there's going to be a renewed passion. And look, man, I believe that like I said, if we can keep some of our roster, I feel like we've got really talented people. Now we're losing a couple of key offensive linemen just to graduation, but I think we can make up for that.
Yeah, that's where the portal is going to be big, and they're going to have to identify the right guys, and that's going to be part of the being a head coach now.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, number 2 on Yes, No, Where, maybe with Drew Copeland. You close your sets. I was hoping you had a set tonight, but you don't.
Yeah.
But you close your sets with your acoustic solos with A Little Like Heaven.
No, I do not. I put that one. I put that one early to mid. Just to get the crowd pumped up.
Yeah.
Anything off my solo record.
It pumps me up. I got it on all my playlists, and if you don't know, the song is all about Gainesville and you growing up in Gainesville. It's a really. I
still have a dream that with some kind of video, it gets played pregame in the stadium. Like I'm certainly not expecting a Tom Petty moment, but like maybe as the players are walking in. Before there's even a crowd in there. Like if there could be.
I've argued with them about that. I've argued with them about that and Gator Country by Molly Hatchet.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great song about Florida's the only place. Forget Alabama. Forget that is a perfect song, but no, they want to
we covered that song for a little bit until our drummer complained. He said, dude, don't make me do that. I said, okay.
All right. Well, you're not closing with the one little Christmas tree, are you? I mean,
no, but I like that song too. And we don't do that one.
Loves that song.
Oh man, that's a good one. I was thankful. That was actually Mark picked that song for the Christmas record and then asked me to sing it. I was like, yeah, I love that song. So now, right now, like the other night, I finished the set with, but just because people were asking, I finished the set with Happy. So, I'm still doing Hazel songs at the Drew Copeland sets, but yeah, I finished with Happy.
Yeah, actually, I went and listened to Somewhere More Familiar again the other day. Just 'cause I hadn't listened to the full album in a long time.
We sounded very young, which was nice.
You did. Now you sound old, as do I.
We do.
All right, and finally, number 3 on Yes, No, or Maybe with Drew Copeland. You have at one point in your life, somebody has confused you with the band Copeland.
No.
Are you aware of the band Copeland?
No, I'm not.
I was not either, but I am now because I researched it because I was looking for some stuff, and I found it, and it is softer than a baby's butt. I mean, it is really soft, kind of Christian-y music, and
that could be me.
And it's Copeland. Yeah.
Yeah, that you know what? I'm surprised I haven't been mistaken for that. I have a lot of people have asked me if I was related to Stuart Copeland,
Oh, yeah.
but I've never gotten. Yeah, yeah,
You're
and I
not.
always say yeah. I say, oh, Uncle Stu, yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And then they go, hey, can you get him to come play our concert?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Drew. Good catching up, buddy. We will let you go, and appreciate you coming on from the road
Yeah,
somewhere
man.
in Tallahassee.
It's a tradition. I would be sad if we stopped doing it. And I will text you with the info about the Pompano Beach show.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, we'll be back with more of another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios right after this break. Thank you, buddy. Adams Rib Company has been a staple of Gainesville for more than a decade and a staple of the Dooley house ever since Kelsey's teeth came in. The first time I walked into Adams, I told my daughter that the green beans are always a test of a great barbecue restaurant, and they were perfect. You know about the ribs that melt in your mouth, and my favorite, the turkey plate. But be sure to go in on Fridays for Nana's Fish Nuggets. They will melt in your mouth. Adams Rib Co., a Gainesville great.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, two things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Okay, welcome back to another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. And Meldon Law always sponsors Coach Spurrier, and we have Coach Spurrier now because he has been traveling a lot, so we've missed him the last couple of Mondays. We wanted to make sure we got him on to talk about where he was at the Heisman and at the Hall of Fame. And you certainly, that was pretty cool to see you and Timmy and Danny at the Heisman ceremony.
Yeah, last week was sort of the week my wife Jerry and I, we go to the College Football Hall of Fame. It used to be in New York City, and then we would just stay over for the Heisman event. But now the Hall of Fame's out in Las Vegas. And of course, Urban Meyer went in, and they had a luncheon the day before the induction, and had people from all four of Urban School: Ohio State, Bowling Green, Utah, and of course, Florida. Jeremy Foley was there and said a few words and so forth. But Urban and his family were there. Dan Mullen, for some reason, he must have had something to do with his school, but he was not there. But yeah, Urban going in the Hall of Fame. He and Saban went in together the same year, and they had them come up and say a few words and so forth at the banquet. So anyway, it was nice to be out there. And then, of course, the Heisman event with the quarterback from Indiana, Fernando Mendoza. He's from Miami originally. You know that? Yeah, he's a Miami kid. And
FIU is the only school that recruited
he
him.
was a two-star, and somehow or another California found him. So he went to Cal for like 3 years and graduated. Smart kid. He's a lot like Danny Wolf and Tim Tebow, a sincere Christian young man, complimenting all his teammates and coaches and all that. So Fernando was a joy to be around, and he won it convincingly. I think he won all 6 areas of the country, they said. And of course, Diego Pavia didn't like it too much and said a few things he wished he had not. And I really like Pavia. I wish he hadn't said all that crap. But it's history now, and he's trying to apologize and move on. Yeah.
You going to give me anybody you voted for on the Heisman?
Well, I voted for both those guys. I won't give you the order, but Mendoza and Pavia were my first and second, or second and first. Okay, definitely. And then the other 2 guys that were there, the running back at Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love was there. And let's see, was there another guy there, or was that it?
Yeah, Julian Sayin, the quarterback.
Sayin. He transferred from Alabama to Ohio State. That's sort of different. But gosh, he completed like 75% of his passes this year. Sayin did. So he's a nice young man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had third on my ballot, Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker from Texas Tech, who finished fifth in the voting,
Uh-huh.
because I just thought you watch his games, man, and he just dominated
All over.
as a linebacker. But, hey, look, there's no wrong Heisman vote, right? It's not, I'm over 900 voters now, so it's pretty cool. But how cool was it just to be up there and see all those guys again?
Well, I've done this about 45 years, Pat, to go back to the Heisman. And Mike Garrett comes back every year. So he sits at the end of the table. So he's the oldest, and I'm next. And then Gary B-Ban was a year after me, and on down. But we have about 25 or 28 former winners that come back each year. So it's just a habit. I do it every year. My wife, Jerry, of course, loves all that kind of stuff. So she was there, and my daughter, Amy, went up this year, and granddaughter, Charlotte. So it's nice to have the kids and the grandkids enjoy those kind of events also.
Yeah, I saw that they were posing with a Heisman. I guess that they bring down there and they show.
Oh, Mendoza was taking pictures with everybody. Yeah, he's a nice young man, really is. Wonderful young man, and his dad was there, and I think he's got two brothers. Yeah, his brother is the backup quarterback in Indiana, and then a younger brother who could play the guitar and sing at one of the events the night before. He's really good too. But anyway, it was just an annual event, and fortunately, the airlines moved right on schedule, Pat. We had good weather, LA all the way up to New York, and from New York back down to Gainesville a couple of days ago.
Well, I did want to talk to you about what's been going on at Florida with Coach Sumrall and obviously DJ Lagway leaving, and it's just the way it works. This is the world we live in. You just mentioned Sayin moved on, got a different job. Mendoza transferred in. I mean, almost everybody's a transfer these days, and that's just the way it works. So I don't think, I don't know. There's some people that are taking shots at him on the way out, and there's a lot of people that are just saying, hey, we appreciate you coming here. Good luck to you, but don't go to Georgia.
Lagway to Georgia. I think they think he's going to go toward Baylor. His hometown area is pretty close to there, from what I understand. But
his dad played.
He was. I don't know if he was hurt all summer, but he couldn't work out. Preseason he couldn't practice. I don't know what all.
And he got heavy, and that took away that element of the running game a little bit. So,
But anyway, interesting. Today I got the local paper, and it had the all SEC team in there, offense and defense. You know how many Gators were on the all SEC first team, Pat?
My guess would be 0.
How about one? Jake Slaughter, offensive lineman. He was a heck of a player.
Oh, all SEC. You're right. Yeah.
All SEC, just SEC. Gosh, I remember back in our day, we would have from 4 to 7 sometimes.
Yeah.
Offense, defense, players all over the place. And, that's how you consistently win, with really, really good players that know how to play and prepare to play and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully Coach Sumrall and his staff are going to get a bunch of guys in here that really love to compete and go from there, which I think he will. He's a gun-ho fireball type coach, and I think he's bringing in an excellent staff. So hopefully better days are ahead for the Florida Gators.
Yep, absolutely. And hopefully one day he's in the playoffs, which he's in the playoffs right now. And I know you're excited about watching this weekend. And any feelings on the 12-team playoff that's coming up?
Well, everybody's picking the favorites, which are Georgia, Ohio State, maybe Indiana.
Yeah, some people are picking Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah, but Georgia and Ohio State are picked to go to the finals. But it could be anybody. And I really think Tulane's got a chance against Ole Miss. We don't know how Ole Miss is going to react, although I think they'll probably play very well. But Tulane will play their hearts out also. So that's one. And then Alabama and OU, that's Friday night game.
That'll be a good game.
They got a whole day to themselves, and that will be watched all over the nation. Obviously, 2 national powerhouses historically and everything else, Oklahoma and Alabama. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that one.
And just to let you go, Coach, but as you look at college football right now, and we're sitting in a situation where a playoff coach left his school, players are leaving their school, a team totally opted out. Are you concerned at all about the future of college football?
Yeah, I wish all this had not happened, but it is what it is now. And I don't know how they change it because they don't know how to do it either. They got to be smarter people than me that can look at it and say, why don't we put some, like, you got to stay 2 years somewhere. If you go stay 2 years or just anything. And every school gets 20 or 22 million, and that's it. That's it. You can't spend more than that. And you got to have accounts of it. I heard Ricky Newhouse talking on his radio show the other day. He said, college football is the only sport in the world, or the only business in the world. You don't have to tell anybody how much money you make. It's supposed to be public knowledge. We don't know. Nobody knows what Lagway got. They asked me, what did Lagway get? I said, I think 3, 4, 5 million. Arch Manning supposedly got 6 million a year. So I can't put an exact number on it because they don't tell you.
There's no transparency.
Yeah, obviously they tell the players, don't tell anybody how much you got now, because we can't give everybody that much. Blah, blah, blah. So it's just what it is. But like people say, the attendance is as good as ever. The TV ratings are as good as ever. So people are watching, and there's great interest in it. I will say that, but just have some rules somehow. You would think they would want to do that, but they haven't done it yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know when they'll do it because it's almost like they're begging Congress to vote, and I mean they got a lot of things they got to deal with right now.
Yeah. It's almost like where it's a free country, antitrust laws, all that. You can't put a limit on this, that, and the other. Well, how do all the pro sports do it? Even basketball, baseball, they make millions and millions, but they do have some kind of limit, I think, on how much they can pay their team.
Yeah, you got to get a collective bargaining. It's so complicated. It's way above my pay grade too.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
We'll let you go and appreciate you taking time today. We usually have you on Monday, and of course, we won't have you next Monday either because we're not doing a show. But we'll catch up with you the following Monday, the 29th.
Yeah, it was good watching our basketball team last night get a win. Gosh, we've lost 4 close ones, but watching our basketball teams just like watching a completely different team. It's a bunch of new players, few from last year. But and it's that way all around the country. So every year it's not like, well, we were real good last year. We didn't have many seniors, so we should be good again. No, that doesn't work out because players move around all over the place now. So every year is a new year, and I think Todd Golden and his guys do a super job. And our big tall guy got to play something last night. Did you see it?
I did, and that is actually our Campus USA play of the week. So we'll show this now, and that is the dunk that he had, which
without jumping. I told somebody I watched the guy dunk the ball, and I don't think he jumped. He just got on his tiptoes a little bit. That was neat. Yeah,
and that was a great assist from C.J. Ingram, Cornelius Ingram's son. Mm-hmm. Was on the assist, but yeah, that was fun to see, and we appreciate Campus USA for bringing us the play of the week. Coach, we'll let you go, and appreciate you coming by, and we'll see you on the 29th.
29th. All right, take care, Pat. See y'all.
See you, Coach. Right. Okay, well, let's go ahead and move along to our Adams Ribco Gator of the week, and again, thanks to Drew Copeland for joining us. And Coach Spurrier, we doubled them up today. I know we don't do that all the time. Remember when we used to do that all the time? We used to have 2 guests for every show. Boy, that was a lot of work. Maybe that's why I kind of had a sour taste early in the show when we were doing the show well over 500 episodes ago, because to get 2 guests was a lot of work, but today it was a lot of fun. All right, so let's get to our Adams Ribco Gator of the week. It is brought to you by Adams Ribco. They do a great job over there. Friday is tomorrow, and that is the day to get your Nana's fish nuggets. They melt in your mouth. Let us get to our Adams Ribco Gator of the week, and for me, it is Ruben Chinyelu, and here's why. I love Florida's basketball team is not going to be successful if Ruben Chinyelu is not a factor. And again, he's not going to make threes. He tried one the other night. Did it even hit the iron? I don't know if it did or not. But he's got a really good touch inside, but that's not even the point. The point is get rebounds. He got 22 of them one night against Merrimack. When he plays against these little teams, which is what he did last night, he can name his number on rebounds, and he's got to do that. And he's got to do it against bigger teams. He got pushed around a little bit by that kid, was it Peak at Arizona? So he's got to be great. He was great last night. 11 rebounds, but more than that, did not miss a shot. 5 of 5 from the field, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. That is up to 12 points. So it's a double-double, but the main thing is he gets rebounds, and he's so long. He and Condon both are longer. You don't realize how long their arms are. But then you watch them play, and they get a lot of tip rebounds where they kind of tip it to themselves, reaching over a guy. You got to be careful. You don't want to go over the back. But anyway, Ruben Chinyalu is our Adams Ribco Gator of the Week. Let us move along to our Hesser and Kipke 3 things. We always love our Hesser and Kipke 3 things. It is brought to you by our good friends at Hesser and Kipke. For all your workers' compensation and family law needs, 352-339-9920. I should have a jingle I should write for that. It'll 339-920. Hesser and Kipke. You can reach them there. All right, let us get to our Hesser and Kipke 3 things. Number 1, the coaching carousel opened up again. Well, it's not that big a deal, though, but his coach at Ohio University, which is, a MAC team, got fired. I don't know that I want to hear the details, but, the journalist part of me wants them because you want information all the time, and that's how I still get fed. But all I know is it was serious professional misconduct he was fired for, let go with cause. Well, as we go forward over the next couple of days, and maybe you guys already know by the time you're listening to this, it'll be interesting to see whether this was another Sharon Moore, or whether it was Rick Pitino, whether it was Billy Napier, or he just wasn't good enough. But no, that's without cause. Without cause is a weird thing, because the cause of firing a coach is he couldn't win enough games. That seems to me like a cause. But anyway, we'll see. So that is an open job at Ohio. We'll see. They'll probably elevate an assistant, although who knows what's going on there. All right, let's move along to number 2 on our Hesser and Kipke 3 things, and that is, I had to look because I couldn't really read it. Tua is benched. Not a big surprise. Quinn Ewers will get the start for this game Sunday. Look, Tua's just not, and the trouble they have is they have an unbelievable deal. It's $90-something million, 99, I think it is. $1 million if they want to cut him, which I think they'd like to do. But the former GM, which is why he got fired, Greer, was fired because he gave him that extension, and it's not paying off. And goes back. Look, we're living in a world, and we've always lived in this world, though. It just hasn't been in sports as much. But we've always lived in a world where you're only as good as your services. If you're good at something, you're going to get paid more. If you're good at being a waiter, you're going to get paid more. People are not going to want you to leave. They'll give you raises, so you won't leave. If you're good at being a sports writer, it happened to me. I had an offer for another job, and I got a huge raise, because I was good at it. I guess that's what they thought. This is the way it is, and this is the way it is in the world now. But if you're not good at it, people don't want you around. Now, the difference is these guys all have buyouts. Nobody had a buyout. I did. I was lucky. I got a buyout, but it wasn't to get fired. It was just to leave, because they wanted to just get rid of people. Anyway, I'm going off on tangents, so let's get away from that. It is going to be interesting to see what they do. They could trade him, but what is the value for Tua Tagovailoa? I don't know what his value is. It just hasn't been good. I was watching that game, and I was rooting for the Dolphins, and I like Tua. I like his personality. I liked him in college. But But when he threw that one ball, and I know it was freezing cold, but he threw that one ball that was so badly underthrown that the DB almost had to fair catch it. I just went, that game is going off my TV. I'm not watching that. All right. Let us move along to number 3 on our Hesser and Kipke 3 things, and that is that the Knicks have opted out of raising the championship banner for the NBA Cup, which it's so stupid if you do raise a banner. It's like, you know what you should do? You should put it in your little trophy case. You know, like they have, some places will have a trophy case, but the banners are reserved for big things. To me, if you're not in college, Final Four plus, you know, you have gymnastics banners in there, you have track banners in there and stuff like that. But I mean, it's got to be for championships or getting to the championship. It's not for winning something in the middle of the season, not even in the middle of the season, early in the season, that gave you a trophy. That's it. Anyway, so I appreciate that from the Knicks. It's a stupid thing. It's a stupid concept. They are talking, though, Adam Silver, so this is why it's an interesting story, is because Adam Silver is saying we may do it at college venues next year. Cool. Now, that would be, look, I don't think they would come here. I don't think the O-Dome is set up to handle an NBA game. I mean, the locker rooms are not at the level of NBA guys. But, I mean, who knows? I mean, if you bid enough money, maybe they can play it at the indoor practice facility. I don't know. But Cameron, Fog Allen, places like that, I can tell you Cameron's not set up for it either. And that'll be the interesting thing is, do they only go to schools, campuses where, like Pauley Pavilion would be another good one. They're just historic, but again, not really set up to handle an NBA crowd or an NBA players or anything. So anyway, we'll see what happens there. It'll be interesting to see where that goes. All right, let us move along to our Leonardo's at Millhopper quick pick. And today is the day where we are going to make a pull to win $25 at Leonardo's Pizza of Millhopper, where you can go in there and I think you can get 2 dual sandwiches for that $25. You may have to pay a little extra, and you're going to want to have a cold beverage with that. All right. So, Zach, we had so many, and I've got them written all down here. We had so many people get in and qualify for the contest this week or this year, and we're going to have start another one in just a minute. We had 49 different people that got in, and we appreciate everybody, and many people qualified many times. So I got a lot of numbers here. So I'm going to ask you to pick something between 7 and 68. I'm just doing the math in my head.
7
7
and
and
68.
68. For the memes and for the kids, I like to say 6-7. I'm not going to do that. I'll say 49.
Well, I made it 68 so you wouldn't take 69. But what'd you say, 49?
Yeah, 49.
49 is Dan Pike is the winner of $25 at Leonardo's. And Dan, just send your information to patrickdooley54@gmail.com. And I will get that out to you. Just give me your address and I'll mail it out to you. We do have, we're going to start a new contest today. And I know a lot of you are disappointed you didn't win, but there were a lot of people that got in. A lot of people qualified 2 and 3 times. But we're going to give you 2 chances to qualify here. The 2 games that I think everybody's most interested in, Alabama getting 1.5 at Oklahoma, Miami getting 3.5 at A&M. Those are the 2 games. Just pick them and send that to patrickdooley54@gmail.com. Look, I appreciate all of you who get in these contests, and I know it's kind of I wait a while to make a pull, but I'm just trying to parse it all out. What we're going to do, I think, on the next pull is not only are you going to get $25 at Leonardo's at Millhopper, you're also going to get a Patrick Young signed book. People have been requesting it. We've got a couple of those. I'm giving some out of my Patreon contest, which is a lot of fun too. You can get on patreon.com/Dooley Noted to read all my stuff, and we do contests on there as well. but Leonardo's is the originator of our contest. And we appreciate Kyle over at Leonardo's at Millhopper. And I know Dan Pike will enjoy going in there and having a duels or just a nice thick crust pizza. They have the best, and we appreciate them. Leonardo's at Millhopper. Let's go. Speaking of somebody we really appreciate, our BMI TeleMed Smart Move of the Week. BMI TeleMed is your place to go for weight loss specialists. They know what to do, what to give you, and to achieve and maintain. Give them a call at 727-383-1677. They want to remind you, the holidays are coming up. It's cookies, it's breaded food, it is alcohol. It is hard to get through the holidays. And this is why we hooked up in the first place. Is I had a hard time with the holidays last year and struggled with them. I gained a lot of weight, and I hated doing it because I had worked so hard to get it off. They can help you out. Just give them a call, and you get a 10% off your order if you give them a call. And we've lost around 600 pounds as a collective group. I'm very happy with where I am. Our BMI TeleMed Smart Move of the week is, and I don't even know how to pronounce this. Is it Kalshi or Kalshi or Kashi or Kalshi? I've seen it show up, but this is an organization that is making a smart move, and that they want to predict whether players will go to the portal or not. And they want to have all the contracts out there. Coach Spurrier was talking about that. We want to know. We deserve to know what these kids are getting paid. We deserve to know. Now, it is a two-edged sword. There's no question about it. Because then if you know a kid's getting $6 million, you're going to call him the $6 million man and $6 million bust, headline, stuff like that. And look, but this is part of it. You have a job and you're in a high-profile entertainment, high-paying job, really high-paying job. And you're going to get criticism. You have to live with it. Sorry, you're a kid. You probably shouldn't be given this kind of money. But as long as there are not going to be any guardrails, it's the way it works. It is. But they're going to try to do this, and NCAA is losing its mind over this. But the NCAA doesn't win any of these cases anymore. They just lost one to Jeremy Pruitt on the show cause. Now he didn't have it at the show cause. They're not doing well in court, so we'll see what happens there. That is our BMI TeleMed Smart Move of the week, and it's just smart on Kalshi's part because they're getting into they're saying, hey, look, there are no limits on what you can do anymore, and that's the bottom line. But it is. Let us move along to this, that, and the other. This, that, and the other. We love this, that, and the other. And it's good that we're having it on a day that Coach Spurrier was on. This, that, and the other. It's brought to you by our good friends at Notary Joe's. Notary Joe will come to your house, and he will do your notary work. He is a mobile notary and does a great job. It is also brought to you by Dar Shakow Insurance. Dar Shakow Insurance for all your home and auto needs. All the stuff that you need in insurance is brought to you by Dar Shakow Insurance, commercial and life as well. And then also brought to you by the Atlanta Hustle, the only ultimate Frisbee team in the Southeast. Schedule is coming out very soon. We'll be able to get it to you, I think, in a couple of weeks. Well, it'll be after the first of the year, so right after that, yeah. All right, let us move along to our this, that, and the other. This is, I remember when people were talking about Kirby Moore. I don't know how many of you guys are aware of Kirby Moore because Florida didn't play Missouri this year, but he's the offensive coordinator at Missouri. And certainly the brother of Kellen Moore, who is a head coach in the NFL now and was with the Cowboys for a while, highly respected. And Kirby Moore, highly respected. People loved what he was doing on offense and really seemed to be doing a good job. And one of those aspiring young coordinators that you could see getting a head job. He was mentioned with several head coaching jobs. That is that he got one. One's at Washington State, where he went to games at Pullman. He knows the area very well. He was very happy to go out there and be a head coach. And I know it feels like a dead-end job, you know, but it is what it is. Pullman is, some people love it. It's one of those towns that you either love or hate. I've never been there, so I can't tell you. I can't offer an opinion. But just from every reaction you get, he's one of those people that loves it and wants to be at Washington State. So he is their new head coach. And the other is that he had his introductory press conference the other day, and he said he could not wait to go play these games that they're going to play and win games. The time is now, and we're going to go win games in this Mountain West Conference. You're not in the Mountain West Conference, Kirby. You're in the Pac-12. It's only 8 teams, but you're in the Pac-12. The Mountain West came to the Pac-12. As did, I think it was a Texas State from another conference. Well, they're in the Sun Belt, I think. All these guys went over there. So in your introductory press conference, you didn't know what conference you were playing in. You're facing an uphill battle is already, but it's really getting uphill now. All right. That is our this, that, and the other. Let us move along to our Gallo Car Wash Sponge of the Week. And it's Gallo Car Wash, where we get all of our cars washed. We appreciate them so much. And at Gallo Car Wash, our Sponge of the Week is going to be our man, Olivier Roy. And look, because nobody's gotten a reaction to making a basket like he got last night. I'm trying to think of what day it was. Wednesday night. Yeah, and again, that was just, we showed that earlier on the Play of the Week because it really was. It was just so much fun. The joy in that crowd. And it wasn't just the rowdy reptiles. It was everybody just so excited, not only to dunk, because we're watching him. He was in for about a minute and a half. We're watching him, and it's almost like you feel bad. He looks like he's just cumbersome. And there it is. Look at these people going nuts, and the bench lost their minds. But the point is, you were feeling bad for him, and then he goes in and dunks with. He did get off his feet. He did leave his feet. Not by much. You could have put a phone booth underneath that, or a phone book underneath that. Or you could put a phone booth underneath. You couldn't put a phone booth underneath. Are there even phone booths? Do they exist anymore? Zach, do you know if there's such a thing as phone booths in the world?
Yeah, Pat, the only time I really remember seeing a phone booth in the past 20 years is like when Tony Soprano would use it.
That's right. Call me from a payphone. Yeah. All right, so he is our Gallo Car Wash Sponge of the Week. Let us move along. Mark Gaida presents at 12. We're doing a special extra one for this. Mark Gaida, of course, from Pepin Realty. We appreciate him. We just decided to do one today because I wanted to give you the spreads, and this was really interesting, on to win it all for the 12 teams in the college football playoff. So he's presenting the 12 again. Mark Gaida from Pepin. Appreciate him. Number 1 is Ohio State. That's at plus 215. Now, what this means is if you bet $100 on Ohio State to win the whole thing, you win 215, which seems like a pretty good deal. Number 2 is Indiana at plus 280. I don't think Indiana is going to win it all. I'm just going to tell you. Number 3, Georgia at plus 550. I think that is a great bet. Texas Tech at plus 800. Oregon plus 900. A&M 2000. That seems like a good bet. Miami 2,500. Now that seems like a good bet. Alabama next. Ole Miss, they're both at 2,500. Oklahoma at 5,000. But this is interesting. James Madison 70,000. Tulane, the last one, at 80,000. Now, if you bet $100 on Tulane to win the whole thing, you get $80,000 if you win. That seems like it's almost worth the risk. Anyway, not that I'm doing it. I'm just saying, and they're not going to win it all. We all know that. I mean, the path is just too hard. I don't think anybody comes out of that from these games. Well, maybe Miami could. Anyway, all right, let's move along. I'm just rambling here and just talking off the top of my head. All right, let's get to our, see, this is scripted. It is scripted. Oh, that takes away the thing. Okay. All right. Our Swamp Games of the Weekend, it is brought to you by the Swamp Restaurant, the place we love to go to watch games, and we have a ton of games for you to watch. And you can go there, get great food, great drink specials, have fun. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a little chilly, but not too cold. Just put something warm on, go sit outside, watch that big screen out there. Our swamp games of the weekend, here they are. And let me just give you the college football games just to give you the channels because I know you need to know that. Friday, Alabama at Oklahoma is at 8 o'clock on ABC. I think that is going to do unbelievable ratings. Unbelievable ratings. I really believe that. Unbelievable. Best ratings ever. Saturday's game, Miami at Texas A&M. Not good in terms of the ratings because it's a noon game on ABC, but it's still going to get pretty good numbers. I think it would do better as a night game, but they want to make sure you're still and you get off to a good start of watching their games. And I think that's why the game's there. That is at noon on ABC, which is 11 o'clock out there, kickoff. Tulane at Ole Miss, 3:30 on TNT. So that's a different channel, as is James Madison in Oregon, 7:30 TNT. I'm not going to recommend James Madison, Oregon. I think that's going to be a blowout. I'll watch it to start and then see as long as they keep it close. They keep it within 2 touchdowns, I'm with them. As soon as it gets over, if it gets to be 16 points, I'm out. Or 17, I guess, technically. All right, so those are the college football games. You got Rams at Seahawks tonight. Huge game on Prime Video Thursday night tonight. Sunday, Jacksonville at Denver. Big game there, 4:05 on Fox. So that's the early 4 o'clock game. Right? There's an early 4 o'clock game and a late 4 o'clock game. That makes no sense, but that's true. 1 o'clock, you also have Tampa Bay at Carolina. That's a big game. New England at Baltimore is your NBC 8:20 game on Sunday night, I'm sorry. And then also Saturday, I mentioned the Florida basketball play Sunday. Saturday, good game to watch. St. John's at Kentucky. That's at noon on CBS. 12:30 on CBS. So, yeah, that is, again, I'm a big proponent of the 3 TVs, but that is something that will make the third smallest TV of all. But it'll be on there. I'll be able to follow it and keep score. All right. We've had a long show today. I know Zach is getting extra pay for this. So it has been a long show with 2 great guests, and we want to thank Drew Copeland and Coach Spurrier for coming on. We had a blast. Monday's show will be a Christmas show. It'll be a best of show. We appreciate Zach for doing that because we needed to do it because nobody else knows how to do it. And then no show at all on Christmas Day. We're going to observe the day of our Lord. And then we're going to start back on the 29th with a Monday show. And that Coach Spurrier will be at that one. And then we'll let you know who January 1st guest is. Oh, all that and more. Zach, I couldn't do it without you, man. I appreciate you so much and appreciate everybody. Appreciate all of our great sponsors and advertisers. We really love you guys, and you're the reason that we're still going strong here at episode 5, whatever it is. For another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios, I am Pat Dooley. I am deep, I am way back, and I am out of here.